What's up there, everybody? I hope you guys are having a great time. And we have some special news here. So, what do we have that was on the special Nintendo Switch Direct event today? Well, we have some special guests here. What do we have? What could be in common with all these special little guys here? Oh no! We're having a special Nintendo and Street Fighter collaboration. So, let's get into the nitty-gritty here. Today, on April 2nd, there was a special announcement that there's going to be collaboration for Street Fighter 6 and Nintendo. They are going to be putting Street Fighter 6 on the brand new Nintendo Switch 2. So that is what, oh, thank you. It's a sweatshirt. A buddy gave me this for Christmas. Yeah. And my little Mario and Luigi guys here. So, in the 60-minute show, they went over the new games and new features that are going to be on the Nintendo Switch 2, which is coming out in around June time. So, let's take a look real quick and see what we're going to have. Let's watch the trailer first, and then we're going to go into everything else. So here we go.
Here comes a new challenger. Fight now. Hey now, where you going? World Tour. Fighting ground. Battle hub. Local wireless match.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat.
Hope you're part of a fight. Cry for mercy.
I am the pride of the Shiranui.
I'm here to help.
Very nice.
Street Fighter 6.
They did a good job with the commercial. I really like it, to be honest. It's very hype. So, a bunch of games are coming out on the same day that the Switch is live. That is going to be June time. And specifically June 5th. Okay, so June 5th. And there are different versions of the game that you can end up purchasing. So let's go over this real quick, and I'm going to give my thoughts on why I think it's a good idea to invest in this. And it's just my opinions, but I pretty much just landed on it right there. But we're going to go over everything first before we start getting into that. So, Nintendo Switch 2 Direct was a 60-minute special event show on the new console, and specifically for Street Fighter, it is about Street Fighter 6 collaboration, right? The unit itself is basically going to be running with the NVIDIA GPU with DLSS, deep learning super sampling, to boost performance and graphics. It has the ability to do wireless matches, new modes, and the new modes for this Nintendo unit, okay, is going to be called GYRO, Gyro Battle, and a calorie contest, and we saw the icons for that in the latter third as we were going through. We still have the ability to access the 3 styles, which is classic, modern, and dynamic. And it's backed by Joy-Con 2, which is tied to that NVIDIA GPU and the DLSS. You can also get the 3 Amiibos, and the Amiibos are Luke, Jamie, and Kimberly. There are 2 versions of the game, okay? So there's the standard, which is the vanilla version that we all bought when the game first came out on June 2nd, back in 2023. And then you can buy the enhanced version, which is the 1 to 2 year special, which is the one that we have now with all the DLC characters added in, right? And it has the 2 seasons of DLC characters, which is a total of 26. A total of 26 characters. So basically what's coming down to is you can either buy the base version, or you can buy the base version plus the DLC packs that are built in it. The Amiibo figurines are sold separately, but everything is available when the system launches on June 5th. Now, the system will also have, through the Amiibos, interactive figurines, which are what those are, and you use them to plug them into the machine, and they work. Well, they look neat, right? But then they actually have information in them, and they're cards that the Nintendo uses to unlock various game content features, characters, costumes, missions, whatever happens to be loaded on those little things. And what else? Basically, in a nutshell, that's everything that this, has for right now, right? So when it comes to Elena, because we saw Elena in the final art back here, okay? Now, why is this important? Well, this is important because spring just started about a week or so ago. Elena is the final character in this season's, the Season 2 pass. The Switch is coming out on June 5th, okay? Elena has to be out by June 20th. Because if they're saying that they're doing a spring season, June 20th is the start of summertime. So she has to be available, if they're sticking by the season requirements, right? She has to be out by June 19th, June 20th. I'm wondering, because we just got the Rival Schools Gala special battle pass yesterday. And that's going to be until roughly the end of April time. There will either be a battle pass for Elena, and then she'll come out after that, or there will be another battle pass, and then there's going to be something for her. Because they literally have until June 20th. Which then makes you wonder, is Elena going to be then, when you buy the Switch and you pay for Street Fighter, will the Fighters Edition, okay, which has Season 1 and Season 2 DLC, will that be preloaded in so that when you get it on June 5th, you automatically have access to Elena? Or will she be unlocked after June 5th, just like the rest of us, and then, and then we have to wait until afterwards? That's the real question. The question is, are they going to try to have her come out before the Switch comes out, or is she going to come out after that? I'm almost thinking, there's something in me that's thinking that they're going to want her to come out before. So then when you buy your Switch and you get everything going on it, the whole Season 1 and Season 2 are instantly accessible. That's what I'm thinking the timing's going to be for Nintendo. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on that. So here's the reason why I think that this system is going to be a good buy. Is right here. So I was talking about this with a buddy earlier this morning. And the good thing about Nintendo Switches are how portable they are. And a lot of us are saying we need to get these very high-powered laptops to be able to play the games, right? On the move. Okay, so you're going to a tournament. Maybe you're flying internationally, whatever it may be. You want to practice. You can pull out your Nintendo Switch. You don't have to pull out a whole laptop and everything else. But if you do end up getting a laptop, I'm thinking that you would have the ability to do streaming and everything else all at the same time. So you can multitask. But if you're not interested in that, and I don't think that the Switch has the ability to do streaming and all that stuff all at the same time. But if you just want to play the game and get your practice in and play against people, I think that this is going to be a really good answer. The next question is, it says, okay, you can play on the Switch. Some of the mechanics you can do by shaking it or going like this or doing all kinds of different things, right? Can it handle various controllers? And this is where things start to get interesting. If the Switch can handle various controllers, or, you're able to, get something to an adapter for them, then you can literally take this everywhere, anywhere. You don't have to worry about having a huge setup in your hotel room when you travel to an offline tournament and you're going, oh man, I got to pack my monitor. Now I've got to bring, X, Y, and Z and hook everything up and everything else. No, all you got to do is just bring your Nintendo Switch and there you go. Bam. And you have your arcade stick or your leverless or your pad and you hook it up and you're ready to go. And that's it. It would also depend on their fighting ground and their ranked that they have and how that is going to work out. But I'll tell you what, if they have a really good ability to connect to wireless, or if we have the ability to physically plug in, this could be a big game changer. The price, I'm thinking, is more expensive because of the convenience of it and because they're taking all of this and they're putting it in a small package, on top of the fact that, you know, they're gonna want to make a profit. They're gonna want to make a profit off of this. But they're taking everything and they're making it a very convenient package with this. You can spend $2,000 to $3,000 on a high-powered laptop, and this will do a lot of that, but also in a convenient size and a convenient weight for less. So this is a very, very interesting collaboration. It really changes things aggressively. Yeah, so we went over everything. You can travel with it. Ready for multiple controllers, maybe wireless capabilities or plug-in. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a very, very, very good thing. And I remember being a kid and, like I said, you know, would play Super Turbo at the arcade, and you know, we would be at the arcade playing ST, and then I would my console of preference to rent was the Super Nintendo. I liked the Super Nintendo and would rent it for Super Turbo. And then I remember when New Challengers came out, and then we would try to get the New Challengers game. And there were a couple of times when, you know, you couldn't get the New Challengers game. So then you had to play, you know, base kit, and then you know, you might have to get a Sega instead, you know. But in the end, years later, which I wanted, you know, I was very fortunate. My parents ended up getting me a Sega, you know, and I played it. I still have it. I played it all the time. It still works. But I would always rent the Super Nintendo, and but it was sort of funny. I would always rent the Super Nintendo. That we ended up getting the Sega, and I loved Sonic and everything on it. But I also liked Mario World so much on Nintendo. It was so sad that some of the games weren't cross-platform, but yeah, but it was very good. Nintendo's, you know, fantastic product, you know, and we're going to have to see what the future is going to bring with this. I think it's very promising, and this is very interesting. It's a big deal, and if you're into competition, I think that this changes a lot of things. What does anybody think? What does anybody think about this? Anybody have any thoughts or opinions? Switch to exclusive fighters from a Nintendo universe. If that's possible, I think that they would be in the extreme battle. So they did show some of the extreme battles going on in here. And I think if they did, yeah, it says, and crossplay supported. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. I think that if they do something like that, it has to be an extreme battle. They can't have it in Battle Hub or Ranked, because that would literally throw off everybody else because it's crossplay. So I don't think that'd be viable. So if they put Mario in there, which would be neat, would be really neat to see, but he would throw off everything. that would be to say, what if on Steam I put Godzilla in the game? You know what I mean? And then I go on ranked and I go in a battle hub where it's crossplay and I'm playing Godzilla, and everybody's going, "What the heck?" You know, and this isn't tournament ready. This isn't viable, because then we're manipulating competition at that point, I would think. The cartridges are expensive. I don't know what the prices are. I think I saw that the prices were roughly $90, $80 maybe for digital, and $90 for a cartridge. Somebody did some sort of an equation where back in the day, was it mid-80s, or it was around mid-80s, late 80s, when Nintendo and Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis was out. Somebody took the prices of the games and they took the year, the time, and they equated it to what was going on with what the value of money at the time. And then they took the prices of games and then today, and then they tried to equate it to the value of money now. And what they said was that's, I don't know how viable this is, but what they said was that the math was either roughly the same, or the games now had costed slightly less than what we would have been paying back then. But I don't know how viable that study is. So that's an issue. That's an issue. If the games are $80 and $90, if the games are $80 and $90, I mean, number one, there's inflation. That's unfortunate, but that's just the way that it is. Number two, people are going to buy it. People are going to buy it. And I'll tell you what, you know who they're really going to be buying it for? This guy. This guy right here. Because as soon as another Mario Kart game comes out, or Yoshi World, or Paper Mario World Maker, or Evil Luigi and Wario Land, kids are going to go, I want this. And parents are going to have to say, oh my God, little Billy wants this, you know, and then they're going to get. When I was growing up, my parents, God bless them, they were like, hold that. Your birthday's in August and it's Christmas in December, and them's the breaks. But every once in a while I get a game for Easter and stuff too. But that's, you know, it depends. It depends on the family, and it depends on what's going on, and it depends on what the family wants to do. And you know, but in the end, I was lucky because I, you know, got whatever games, you know. Other kids will be lucky, you know, hopefully that their parents will get them, or, you know, they'll have to wait, or they won't have to wait, or whatever the answer will be. But you better believe that when it comes to these guys, their sales are always strong numbers. Strong numbers. They always do well. And I think it's very interesting too, because Nintendo's pretty strict with sharing their IP with anything. You know, it's very interesting, which is even crazier because I was thinking about this the other day. Something about Nintendo actually popped in my mind because a long time ago, Walt Disney created Mickey Mouse, but he called him Steamboat Willie. And Mickey Mouse was in that cartoon, and it was one of the first cartoons like ever, right? And because it was so incredibly old, something in the license or the copyright of it went up. And parts of it were available to the public. And I think the same with Winnie the Pooh. And that's why with Mickey and Winnie the Pooh and some other characters, there was a little bit of a limbo, like right after COVID, where people were going, somehow you can gain access to some of these older characters. It was a strange situation. I can't help but wonder what's going to happen here, because these guys they're up there too. So it just makes me wonder then what's going to happen to their license and copyrights and IPs as the years go by, because these guys are getting a little older also. So it's interesting. Chrono Trigger, $70-$80. Yeah, Super Nintendo. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's you know, people will get it. And I think it's mostly people will get it, and they're going to enjoy it, you know, and they're going to say, okay, I have this forever, you know, I have this game forever, as long as some crazy thing doesn't happen to your account. And I mean, even I would think if everything got deleted, because they have a paper trail of this bank account bought this and it's attached to this email address, then they have some sort of a link to you for what you purchased, right? So that's what I think. A Christmas. Yeah, that would be, well, I mean, it would be a good Christmas purchase. Or, I mean, it depends on the person too. Someone also could say, hey, look, you know what? I'm just going to buy this. I'm just going to buy this, and that's going to be the end of it. I don't want to. And then some other people would probably say, I don't even want to wait till Christmas. I'm just going to buy it now, you know? Or you could be somebody that says, I want to wait until Christmas. It just depends. It depends on the person, really. Yeah, the console equivalent of Apple. Yeah, it could be. That's exactly right. Because I'm seeing this, I just dropped the pen. I'm seeing this as a very interesting mobile gaming system. And the funny thing is when we were at Texas Showdown, and we were all hanging out outside and everything, there were a couple of clamshell boxes that had some systems in it and a monitor and everything else, and I was thinking, these are really nice and they're convenient and everything, and I was thinking, you can invest in this, and then you still have to get your console and everything else and put it all in. But I said, it's interesting too, because you could go and you could spend all the extra on a laptop, but at the same time, I was going, I wonder if there's anything even more compact than that. And here it is. I mean, it really does everything. And for this Switch to come out, it makes me wonder in the future what the next Switch would be, because it would be even more compact and probably maybe a better battery, you know, things like that, maybe better graphics. But that would be another long time in the future. So I think it's interesting how we've made it to this point, and then in the future what the next step would be for something even more industrial, you know, because it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. So yeah, so I think it's an interesting thing, and I think it's good. You know, I think it's good and very promising. I think it's very promising. And I bet you there's definitely going to be people taking these to tournaments. Especially tournaments where it's a big travel. It's a far travel. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and it's really making me wonder, because I don't think there's any way that this is going to have a whole pile of games on it in the unit itself. I think it has to be stored in a cloud somehow. And you know, and then you download the base of whatever the game is, and then it's all accessed in the cloud. Yeah, look at that. Crossplay, teams, first, second, third. I mean, it looks great. Avatar match. That's something. Avatar match. Notice that there is a specific moment just to announce that there is an Avatar wireless match. And that's because of the amount of people that are playing these Avatar battles. And it's a good amount of people. And I didn't even know. I didn't know how popular Avatar everything is. There's people that love getting the costumes. They love getting everything together. And then they have these Avatar battles. And it's a thing. It's a thing. I didn't know. You know, it's very interesting. Very interesting to see. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Faye. I hope you're having a good one there. Exactly. Can you hook up a hitbox? That's exactly right. And you know what? I bet you can. I bet you can. Because if you can, the amount of these that they're going to sell for any game is going to skyrocket because of the convenience of it. Because of the convenience of it. I bet you they will. And what I'm wondering is if it has the ability for you to plug in a maybe, but I don't know. Plug in an internet cord. So it could be wired if you wanted it to be, but I don't know. Or maybe on the dock, if you plugged in an internet cord and then you put it in the dock and then you played it that way. That would be interesting too. The other thing that was really making me sort of wonder is there's going to be a whole new group of people joining in the matches now. And a lot of them, or maybe not a lot of them, but I'm just gonna sort of guess, right? I have a feeling that a lot are going to be kids. And I think they're going to be playing modern. I think there's going to be a lot of modern players making their way through. And if this has the ability to do crossplay, that means in the battle hubs and in ranked and everything. That's if this has the ability to do ranked. But I would think that it would. But there's going to be a lot of new people joining in, and I bet you there's going to be a big uptick in modern players from here. Yeah. Nightbot, yeah. The docks has to have an Ethernet port. The current OLED switch model has one. Okay, then that's even better. That's even better for everybody else. Then this is a really good unit. In the way that it's sounding, you have the ability to be wired in. I would bet you that you can probably hook a I don't have my Brooks up here, but you could probably get an adapter, a Brooks adapter, plug it in, plug in your whatever, and then you're ready to go. And this is an unbelievably good, small, self-contained package. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. One button super. You better believe it. You better believe it. And they're going to be out there mashing away. And you know why? Because when I was a little kid, we didn't have internet capability, anything like that. We used to just get the game. You got the game. You got arcade mode. That's it. You got arcade mode. It's like, here's Street Fighter. Street Fighter 2. You have versus and arcade mode. And that's it. And you're going, okay, well, I don't know anybody else that can play. So you just automatically put it on arcade mode. And then you just mash away, and you just mash and mash and mash and mash. And I beat that game a couple of times at home, I beat it with Chun-Li. I beat it with Cammy. I beat it with Claw. I tried to beat it with Sagat, and the hardest character for me to always beat was Sagat. I always had a hard time with him. And I remember playing Sagat because I thought, man, he's just so unbelievably good. And then I would get to the boss Sagat, and I just couldn't beat him with Sagat. But I beat him with a couple other characters, though. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I think this is definitely a big jump in convenience. A big jump in convenience. And anybody, I would think, that is a competitive player that travels is going to be checking this out and looking at the stats on this. And I can't think of anything else on the market right now that can beat this, unless it is a high-powered laptop. Yeah, a high-powered laptop. So, lots to look forward to. You know, lots and lots and lots to look forward to with this. And it sort of makes me wonder then for Tekken. I know that I've seen a Tekken on previous different handheld devices, you know, things like that. But Tekken 8 is pretty, it uses a lot of resources, right? Because of how it's the graphics and everything, and it being 3D, and it makes me wonder if adjustments would be made then to make it easier to run for something like this. But I bet you that they're in talks with Nintendo also, because I would really think that they would be. Yeah, see, so there you go. Classic, modern, dynamic. Huh? I think it's so funny where it says, and then you can take it and you can start going like this. You better believe I'm not going to spend like $2 bajillion on on a little Nintendo thing and start going like this. Unless I have like 2 of those straps on both of my wrists and that thing is like literally cemented to my fingers. I'm not going to be going like this at all. Holy moly. Yeah, twist and shake. Oh my god, please. I'm scared to death. Can you imagine going to Evo and somebody pulls up with that and plugs it in and it starts going like this? Oh, wait a minute here. I got to do a DI. And they're going, they're going like this? Oh, my Lord, please. And you know, that might happen. Hey, what's up there? What's up? What's up? So, yeah, I think it's opening up a lot of new possibilities. A lot of new possibilities. So this is the new, what's it called? This is new just for Nintendo, and it's called Calorie Contest. So that's interesting. I don't really, oh, here it goes. Calorie count given is only an estimate. And then I guess you just get all kinds of different things, and then that is what your point system is for winning and losing. Huh, that's interesting. Maybe this is what the ranked is. That's how they do their points on there. I mean, everybody looks really good. Very nice. Everybody's little posters here. Yeah, and then they said, if you decide to get the... Now, this is 22 cards. But if you get all of the DLC and everything else, it's you get 26. Yeah, that's exactly right. Street Fighter on a plane, Street Fighter easily in your hotel room, Street Fighter on a Greyhound, Street Fighter. I'm trying to think of things that would be for travel, you know. You're waiting for your match, and you know you're in a hotel, and there's a corner of the lobby, you know, and maybe you're in the hotel that's down the block, you know, Street Fighter in the lobby. It's very convenient. It's very convenient. Mouse mode. I don't know. Well, let's see. You mean playing on a keyboard and mouse? Mouse mode? Do you mean playing on, like, plugging in a keyboard and using the mouse? Yes. No mouse mode using the Joy-Cons. Let's see. Joy-Con mouse mode. Oh, well, wait a minute here. Okay, so this is what IGN has said. So it says here, Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con. This is according to a couple of hours ago. So this just came out. Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con controllers officially have mouse functionality. Here's what they can do. Ever since the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal, fans have been wildly... Let me make this a little bit bigger so I can read it. Have been wildly speculating on a tiny detail from the trailer, the Joy-Cons. Specifically, their seeming use as a mouse controller, like on a PC, and the way they moved in the trailer. Now we finally have official confirmation as to what they can do. The Joy-Cons can operate in mouse mode, which allow the players to slide the Joy-Cons across flat surfaces and use the analog sticks to simulate left click and right click similar to a standard mouse. Additionally, 2 Joy-Cons can even be used in mouse mode simultaneously, with one in each hand, or one in the standard mode and the other is in mouse mode. In other words, the game is your oyster. Nintendo streamed demonstrated capabilities of the Joy-Con mouse mode via a sports game in the style of Rocket League with robot characters who use wheelchair vehicles to get around. The game is called Drag and Drive. Styled on a 3-versus-3 basketball game. You have to have 2 Joy-Con controllers in mouse mode to wheel your character around the levels and sink the ball into the basket. It says, according to the reveal trailer, the Joy-Cons can slide around just like PC mice. Very nice. Yeah, that's very, very, very good. Very good there. Hi there. What's up? How are you? What's going on there? It kind of is. The game looks like a lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Lots to look forward to with this. Yeah, Fighters Edition, new edition. New challengers.
Time to arrange.
Hope you're part of a fight. Cry for mercy.
I am the bride of the Shiranui.
Let me look up something real quick. Let's see here. April, March, February, June, or January, December, November, October, September, August. Yeah, that was it. PlayStation. Okay. Interesting. Locked in right now to the game. It's very good. Very good there. Oh, that's good. The Amiibos, as far as I see, unlock all kinds of different things. In general, it says here cards that are used to unlock in-game content, features, characters, costumes, and missions. They did such a good job with that stage. Very nice. Yeah, it did a good job. Huh. Let's watch this again. I want to sort of. I'm sort of looking for something real quick.
Here comes a new challenger.
Boy, Ryu's really taking a beating in the beginning of this trailer.
World Tour. Fighting.
Why is everybody putting up with
Oh,
ads like
shoot.
it's 2010?
There's something
like,
wrong
it's
there.
2025, guys. Just use Pi. This Chrome extension
Dang.
takes 5 seconds to set up, and it blocks ads on any
Skip.
website you visit. It makes the ads just like...
Ah, how'd that happen? Well, at least it's Broski's channel.
Time to erase.
Hope you're part of a fight. Cry for mercy.
I am the
Huh.
to erase.
Hope you're part of a fight. Cry for mercy.
I am the pro. Time of the Shiranui.
I'm here to help.
Huh. This video is
Fighter 6.
under 2 minutes long, okay? And whoever made this did a really good job. Did a really good job because the emphasis isn't the characters. Okay, let's pretend that this is our first time seeing Street Fighter 6. And this is the whole game, okay? So let's pretend this is the vanilla version of the game. And I'm going, well, or I've never seen these other characters before, right? Let's say I've never seen the new characters, the Street Fighter 6 new characters, or the DLC characters, or the new versions of them. But the game just came out. There's a very little emphasis on the classic characters. Ryu is in the beginning, but there's a big emphasis on Luke. Luke is sort of the main attraction of the beginning. And then as it goes on, it's a huge emphasis on here are the new characters that are new to Street Fighter 6 but in the base, right? And then they show characters that are new to Street Fighter 6 but in the base, right? And then they show, you know, Marisa, but they do a short little clip of Cammy, a short little clip of Chun-Li, because remember, they're classic characters. We already have an idea of them. But then they show a little bit of a longer clip of Ken, right? Because I'm guessing he's a little more recognizable. I would think Chun-Li is, but there was a lot of emphasis on Ken. There was the most, for a classic character, there was the most emphasis on Ryu. And I would say secondary was Ken. A short bit for Chun-Li and a short bit for Cammy. And then it's, here are the new base roster Street Fighter 6 characters. And I think there's an emphasis on that to make people go, this is a new character that looks cool. I haven't seen them before. I want to buy this to try them out. And then there are large movie animations for the DLC characters. So movie animations for Rashid, Ed, Aki, Bison, Akuma, and then Terry and Mai are at the end together because, you know, they're more together as an SNK group, but they're also new, right? So they get their own movie animation. And then there's an emphasis on Li Fen because she has the special AI, right? The AI battles. And I think it's just very interesting to see how this was built because it's only a minute 50 seconds and the amount of things that they featured was huge. But a lot of it is showcasing what you would need to purchase for the Fighters Edition, which is the edition with the DLC package in it. So, like I said, if I had never seen this before, but I had an idea of what Street Fighter is with the classic characters, it would be, here's Luke and Ryu in the beginning, but there's a lot of emphasis on Luke there. Towards the end, there's a lot of emphasis on Ryu because he's the protagonist, right? Then all in the center, it's, here are these new characters that you've never tried before. Here are the new ones for the base game, and then movie intros for the DLC characters. I think how they did it was really nice. I think they did a good job. A Kazan. Yeah, they show the new generation fighters there. I appreciate that. Yeah, I just saw that. I was going through it and I was going, that's really interesting because I just thought it was interesting because there was a lot of emphasis on them, and they were probably thinking, okay, we only have a certain amount of probably allotted time, so they used it to focus on the features and what you will get if you get the DLC package. And that's how they did it. That's interesting. All right, we'll see you, KMK. It was good seeing you. It was good seeing you there. Yeah, the avatar content, right? Hey there, what's up? How are you? Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. Yeah, see, and then here they start going into see, and then it's all saying, because then I thought when we were going through it, I thought, oh, okay, so we're showing videos of the characters and everything, and then they're showing the bosses. They show the bosses, and then they show the SNK characters, and I go, well, wait a minute here. They're all DLC characters, and that's the focus. Is that they're the DLC guys. It's very interesting. And then they say, here's the whole cast. Here's the classic, the classic guys mixed in with the new class. That's something. Oh, and then a separate emphasis on this, no doubt, is in the DLC package, the extra backgrounds. Yeah, 20 stages. So they say, here's your 20 stages, but some of them are probably going to be the DLC in the Fighters Edition. I bet that's probably, well, it's good, it's good marketing. It's very concise how they have this. Yeah, here we go with your V rival. That was it. Yeah, and then they end it with the protagonist. Very interesting. The marketing team for Street Fighter 6 has really been doing a good job. They did a good job when they started announcing everything for all of this, and then whoever it was that came up with this trailer, they did a good job. I think they did a really good job. Well, let's see how many views it got. 86,000. I mean, that's good. That's really good. I mean, it just came out, so that's a lot to look forward to. That's a lot to look forward to. I think we're going to have new people come in, and then, you know, maybe a portion. I think a good portion is going to be playing modern, especially if they're, you know, kids. You know what I mean? Little kids, and they want to just, you know, do cool stuff and everything and have fun, and it's going to be good. It's going to be a good thing. The avatar content. Oh, Smug in Street Fighter 4. Yeah, he's still going at it. Absolutely. He's very, very good. He's very, very good. Yeah. Yeah. Lots to look forward to.
6.
Very nice. Well, does anybody have anything that they want to talk about with this specifically? I think that I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I'm interested in seeing what the Switch is going to have to offer in convenience more than anything else. And I think that people are really going to get into it because of the ability that you can travel with it, you know? Yeah. It looks pretty good. I agree. I think you can. I think, well, let's look it up. I don't know if, let's see. If you can plug in different controllers into this and use an adapter, then this unit is going to be unbelievable. And I have a feeling that for the cost that it is, that they're making it able to do everything. I really think so. Let's see. Okay, so this is what it says. According to The Verge, it says here are the specs. Nintendo shared the key specs, and it is going to be available on June 5th. It has a 7.9-inch screen. It is 13.99 millimeters thick, like the first Switch. An LCD screen has 1080 resolution and supports high def resolution up to 120 frames per second for the refresh rate. And it has a variable refresh rate. Joy-Con controllers are larger and can be used as a mouse. The mouse mode will only work with mouse mode compatible games. And they stay connected to the Switch via magnets. The specs site say that they will offer 2 6.5 hours of battery life. And it says these are rough estimates. The battery life depends on the games that you play. 256 gigabytes of internal storage, 32 gigabytes on, it's up 32 gigs from the original Switch, from the first Switch. It has two USB-C ports for connecting accessories and for charging. Only the bottom USB port can be plugged into the official dock. When you're in the dock, you can play games up to 4K resolution at 60 frames per second, and it has a fan in it to keep the system cool. Okay, so that's the answer right there, because a friend of mine was telling me that the majority of everything now is being run on USB-C. And that's the answer, because also I've been seeing arcade sticks and leverless controllers and clearly pads on USB-C. So that's it. We can do it. We can do it. And you know how? This would be, I would think, the most optimal way to do it. You get your dock, you set it down on the table, bam. You get your Ethernet cord, you stick it in the back. You get your Nintendo Switch, you put it in on top. You get your USB-C and whatever your unit is, you plug it in, and that's it. You're done. And maybe if it's not compatible, right? Here we go. This may not be compatible. I have an Xbox Elite controller. So then I'm sure Brooks or somebody's going to come out with an adapter that's a USB-C. Plug that in, attach this, and you're ready to go. And that's it. Or it may let you do it wirelessly, but I bet you that's what's going to happen. Console PC hybrid. Yeah. Oh, USB ports on the docking station. Well, let's keep reading this. So it doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't say. So let's see if there's any photos. Well, I can't seem to find a photo that would show. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, based on leaks. You know what? According to this, it looks like you can plug it in on the side. Right here. Yeah, they showed in the video. Yeah, and it's in this article also. Yeah. Very nice there. Well, good for them. You know, this sounds like a really good thing. Oh yeah, here it is. GameStop has a better picture of the side. And you can zoom in on it. I can't read what it says though. Oh, that says HDMI. Yeah, here. It really is. It really is neat. It just says coming soon. It doesn't say any prices or anything like that. So it's a little early, huh? For GameStop. Okay. Very nice there. Very nice. Is there anything else anybody wants to go over or mention or anything like that before we switch, and we'll put we'll open up a room for Street Fighter 6 there. All right. Well, I hope you guys had a great time with the Nintendo reveal here for the Nintendo Switch 2. It's very, very exciting and something really good to look forward to with this collaboration with Capcom and Street Fighter 6. So, yeah, lots of good things to look forward to. It's going to be coming out there specifically on June 5th. And yeah, lots to offer. Lots and lots to offer. And I'm sure the closer that we get towards June 5th, they're going to be letting out even more information about the unit itself. So very, very, very cool there. Yeah, it's not that far away. Very quick. It's coming through. It's coming through. So very exciting there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stop the stream at this point and then restart it back up. So it's whenever I do the really long streams, it's harder for Twitch to download it for me to make a video out of this. So we're actually going to stop it, and then we're going to I'm going to pick it right back up in probably about like 15 seconds or so. So I hope you guys had a wonderful time with this special Nintendo Switch stream, and lots to look forward to with this awesome collaboration here with Street Fighter 6. So we are going to head out, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.